I guess.
I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, May 26th, 2012 Board of Public Safety meeting. If we could please rise and hoist the flag, and then we'll have Father John lead our session. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father John.
Let us pray. Almighty and merciful Lord, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks to the men and women who protect our local community. We give you thanks for this commission and the work that they do. May they truly be inspired by your Spirit and always work to the benefit of you, our Lord God, and of this local community. We pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thanks, Chaplain.
Thank you.
Sorry. Give it up. Roll call, please.
Josh Gobert.
Present.
Jim Olthoff. Jim Olthoff.
He's in conference.
David Villalobos.
Present.
Norm Stick.
Present.
Lester Caber.
Present.
Ralph Miller.
Present.
William Fisher.
Here.
Todd Wilkening.
Here.
Carl Brittingham is absent. Nick Mauger.
Here.
I'd like the minutes to reflect that Washington, Attorney Washington is also present. Excuse me. Public comment, we have to call 3 times for public comment. Public comment 1, public comment twice, public comment 3 times. Being done, we'll ask for approval of the minutes for Wednesday, April 28, 2021.
So moved.
Okay, motion from Norm Stick,
I'll second the motion.
second from Dave. Any questions on the minutes? Being done, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Josh Gobert.
Yes.
Jim Olthoff.
Yes.
David Villalobos.
Yes.
Norm Stick.
Yes.
Charlie Caber.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Communications.
Yes, Board, we have 2 communications. I received the email from Ryan Eckert, who is the principal at Jane Ball. Says, hey Chief, just wanted to give you a quick note about Jason Alande. When I started at Jane Ball, Jason had a child there, and he would just show up and take his kids out of the building without speaking to anyone. Fast forward 4 years, Jason is always one of the most involved SROs at Jane Ball. The change in him has been tremendous. He goes out of his way to help in the cafeteria and recess and in the other areas he can. And last month, as stress has built on myself and the staff for the year, Jason has made our days easier. A couple weeks ago, I actually sat down to eat something in the cafeteria, and a radio call came across for me. He offered to go assess the situation before I was able to speak. Today, he and I were nonstop dealing with issues, and he was like my assistant principal without skipping a beat. I have grown to trust his judgment with the kids, and I believe he has observed me to see how I handle things, and he responds appropriately to the kids in the same way. He always informs me about conversations he has with the kids, and I can determine follow-up steps with them, staff or parents. So to say that I sigh a little bit of relief when he is scheduled to be at the school is an understatement. Thank you for allowing him to be part of the SRO program. We greatly appreciate you, the department, and Jason. Ryan Ecker, Principal, Jane Ball Elementary. Then I had, obviously you guys saw the incident where the police and fire were dispatched out to the vehicle in the lake. Chief Wilkening was unable to make the council meeting due to his 30th anniversary, which was amazing. But we gave 2 certificates of appreciation to the 2 Samaritans that helped pull the 2 individuals out of the water. One was Chris Witter, who was able to attend, and then the other was John Guzzo. He was not due to work, so we had him. So we're going to email or send his to him. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we did that. And I have to add one more because I just got it. I just received this today. Town of Cedar Lake and the police force. Bill and I, this is from Bill and Elaine Edwards. Bill and I wanted to thank you and commend Officer Mattson. 2 weeks ago, we came home to find him in our driveway to report that someone had driven over their 20-foot flagpole and left it. It was erected near where the old house was, which was destroyed in April of 2006. The most notable fact is that he carefully picked up the flag, folded it military style, and placed it on our porch. A very caring and polite officer. Please share this. Thank you, Officer Matchin. Sincerely, Bill and Elaine Edwards.
Very nice.
That is it?
Can you prepare 2 letters, Sarah, for us to place in, the files, for one for Jason and one for, Officer Matson, please?
Well done.
All right, staffing, we have fire promotions of Battalion Chief Matt
Sella.
Sella, Lieutenant Chris Kraft, and Lieutenant Larry Stanger Jr.
For one, is he here? You guys know? He's stuck in traffic. Is he here, Chief? Okay, well, I can get started with, oh, there he is, okay. I'd like to do one at a time, if you wouldn't mind.
No problem, that way you can take pictures, photos.
Okay, the first one I'm gonna do is gonna be Matt Sella. Captain Matt Sella, as of right this minute. Captain Sella is a current, shift supervisor as well as full-time firefighter for the department. He is one of our go-to guys when it comes to just about everything that needs to be done around the fire station. This guy, I can't say enough about. He always takes on every single project, comes in my office, wants to know what he can be part of and how to be part of the department, because I'm all about letting guys be part owners of the department and their job and be part of something. And he is always standing there next to Chief Mager, trying to take a lot of work off of his back at times, because he's overworked as well, and making our jobs easier at the fire station. Not to mention running a very busy shift. He runs a very strong, solid shift with his crew, that when he's on shift, I'm not worried about things getting done and getting done right. So with that, we have promoted him to a battalion chief, and his certificate, and if you bring your helmet with you, we'll present his helmet. He's got his jewelry already. As you can see how beautiful this white helmet is right now. It will not look like this pretty soon, unfortunately. It says here, like Fire Department Certificate of Promotion. On the 26th day of May 21st, the Chief of the Fire Department, Todd Wilkening, has appointed Captain Matthew Sella to the rank of Battalion Chief of the Cedar Lake Fire Department.
I'm getting out of the
ride. Welcome, Sarah. All right. Good.
Congratulations.
Great promotion, Raj. Thank you.
Glad to have you aboard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The next firefighter will be Larry Stinger Jr.
Crazy.
Larry Stinger is moving up to a lieutenant position. You're looking at probably one of the best interior firefighters that this town has pretty much ever seen. One of my hardest working guys. I wish I had 20 of Larry. I didn't really want to promote him because then I'd lose him off the hose line as much, but he's a working officer as well. So I'm not worried about that. Larry's very dedicated. He's one of our POCs, volunteer as well. Always steps up, makes a lot of calls. He's one of the few POCs we have left that make a lot of calls. Larry's father's in the department. He's the assistant chief, so there's history there. I'm sure it's very interesting between them at times at home, because I know from experience that my mom used to say, if you guys ruin one more Thanksgiving talking about the fire department, I'm gonna beat all of you up. So, and she was the same, right, Dave? Great fire. So, with this, I'd like to promote Larry Stinger Jr. to the position of lieutenant for the Cedar Lake Fire Department on this 26th day of May. Chief of the Fire Department, Todd Wilkening, has appointed Larry Stinger Jr. to lieutenant of the Cedar Lake Fire Department. Congratulations.
Larry, you want one with Chief Stella also? Are you getting all of them or just one? Oh, wait, come here. I just can't believe you're a lieutenant already. Where did time go?
Congratulations. Thank you for everything, seriously. Congrats.
Okay, my third and final one is, Chris Kraft. Chris Kraft is being promoted to lieutenant as well. Chris is a career firefighter with the department, and he is also Chief Stella's partner, and works on the same shift as him. When I was talking about Chief Stella, I was also talking about Chris Kraft. These two guys are almost identical when it comes to their work ethic, how hard they work, the projects they take on, and the things that they do for the department. And he doesn't even ask me sometimes. He comes in and says, hey, I already took care of this, and I knew you'd want me to take care of it, so he did. And so does Matt. It's a really good feeling, you know, on the shift when guys do that. And I have that with all my shifts. But these two guys work really close together on certain projects with the department, which helps us continue to grow and do things that we need to do. Unfortunately, Chris recently got married. I mean, that's an unfortunate. Unfortunately, he married one of our part-time paramedics, in which I'm trying to romance her a little bit to come to Cedar Lake because she's also a rock star.
Isn't she in St. John?
She's at St. John, and they got her. It would be kind of hard, I know, having both of them at the same station at the same time. And you would have one more boss then. So, but Chris, on this 26th day as well, 21, the chief of the fire department, Todd Wilkening, has appointed firefighter Chris Kraft to the rank of lieutenant of the Cedar Lake Fire Department. Congratulations.
Get out of there.
Also, I got one more thing to say about him. Chris is the responsibility of a bunch of overtime for the fire department because he got married and decided to invite every single paramedic firefighter in Northwest Indiana, which they all went. And we were left here, except for Matt. He worked 800 million hours, left, and they got married in Florida. And here is your wedding card from my wife and I. And I didn't give that to you the other day, and I meant to. So congratulations on your wedding and your promotion. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
congratulations.
Well, considering the festivities, I guess we need to make a motion and approve.
May as well do it, yeah.
I need a motion to approve these three gentlemen.
I'll do it.
I motion on Josh. Second. Second from, Jim Moltz. All those in favor, or we have to do roll call vote?
Yep.
Sorry.
Josh Gobert,
Yes.
Jim Multoff,
Yes.
David Villalobos,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes. Now you're official.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes, thank you for the devotion. We greatly appreciate you being here at Cedar Lake and your hard work, especially this past weekend.
Board, I just have to say that they were good promotions. I know all three of these guys. Probably Larry Jr., since he was a little kid, since he played baseball with Todd's son and my son. But the other guys, I see them on the street quite frequently on these calls, and they're second to none. Matt Sella is a great selection for a chief. He's, I can't say enough about him. We've always worked amazingly together. Chris is a phenomenal paramedic as well, so I think it's a great promotion. So congratulations, guys, from the police department.
Thank you. Once again, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I guess it's under fire update, new recruits, new hires, overtime, salaries.
I have no idea. Just keep talking, I'll get it for you.
The overtime was discussed with the clerk treasurer and the council affairs, and there'll be a an additional appropriation made to help the fire department make it through the end of the year. Due to the high call volume and turnover of some people, put us there, as well as a lot of training going on with people that have to get updated. So there's a bunch of stuff going on there. The council has also approved to put raises set forth for, we're looking at 2 of the 3, starting in July, and hopefully there'll be some paperwork or some ordinance stuff on that in June, to be able to get that to go in effect in July. So that's where we're at with that. That should bring us more competitive, so we stop losing people. That actually will bring us right to we'll be right in the mix with about 3 or 4 of the departments that actually take people from us. We won't be the highest, we won't be the lowest, we'll be right there, and with a couple raises in the near future as far as, cost of living and stuff, that stuff will help us as well as retain them. So the council is committed to getting that done in July. I was informed that the extra person that I wanted was not going to happen until next year, to start on it later this year, to get them ready to hit the ground next year. So, also was invited to a meeting to discuss the building of a new public safety facility. I take it away from you.
No,
Thunder.
no, I just figured we'd do that after we.
Anyways, I wanted to get there before you did. So that's,
We should put all of his stuff on
we're
one.
talking about that. So,
What was this additional appropriation? What are you looking at? How much?
I don't know yet. That's what we're trying to figure out. The consultant was working with Jennifer, probably 30 to 40,000.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it, other than the fact that our overtime was cut. That's why we're having.
The overtime budget was
The overtime budget was cut, yes. So we're hoping to get that budget back, because that's based on what we knew we needed.
from 20 to 21.
Yes, and years prior to that as well, on and off. The dates I don't have exactly.
All right. Bill, please update.
All right, board, I am looking for approval to start the, recruitment for our 2 officers that were on the list. As you can recall, back in August, we, hired, officers and, made a list of the other 2, with Benjamin Tomko, if you would come up here, and Richard Stirk. As you recall, they were, approved to be on the list. Ben is number 4 and Mr. Stirk is number 5. We have been approved to start the process with the council to hire, Ben in replacement of Lieutenant Purcell at his retirement, and Mr. Stirk to be an additional person on the department. So I'm looking for, approval from the Board of Safety to begin their paperwork for PERF, because it is a long process.
One question.
Sir?
Didn't one of the gentlemen live in DeMont?
Yes. So
Is that gonna?
it will not. The state of Indiana has completely changed the rules and regulations and laws,
Enlighten me about
and we
that.
cannot, tell him to move any longer.
No, I'm just asking if it was gonna be
He
a
can't take a car
problem.
home. No, he has to have, by state law, as of July 1st, he'll have to have adequate supply, or, vehicle to get himself to and from work. So,
Well, there-
if he does, our policy stipulates that he can't have the take-home car unless he lives within,
Right.
Lake County and south of Ridge Road.
I just didn't wanna create a hardship on this gentleman with the real estate market the way it is.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Expecting him to try to.
He actually came in and we talked about it anyways before we realized that the statute was going to be changing as of July 1st. And he wants to move towards Lowell if he can convince first his wife. Secondly, because I believe she works for Rensselaer Schools, right?
Yeah.
So they like the schools in which they're in, which I can respect that.
Well,
So,
sure.
I'd intended on calling you, but I'm like, oh, you're gonna be at this meeting anyway. So, he doesn't have to technically move. That'd be up to him if he chooses to. I know he was looking at moving down towards Lowell, but that would be his option. But I just need your approval to start the process. And once completed with PERF, if you can put in the motion that we move forward with the letter of recommendation from the Board of Safety to the Town Council. My goal would be to have them ready to go by the first meeting in July.
What's your average travel time from there to here?
20 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's nothing bad. Okay.
Okay, so we're in D now, instead of A, B, and C.
Mhm.
So I need a motion to, make an offer of employment for the two new officers, pending perf, and what was with the town council?
Favorable
And-
recommendation to the.
And the recommendation to send it towards the, town council with a favorable recommendation from the Board of Safety.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Jim Altough, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
A second from Dave, any questions for these gentlemen or amongst ourselves?
I want to thank you guys for waiting around for us. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we do appreciate
We need
it.
your help.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have roll call vote.
Josh Gobert,
Yes.
Jim Olta,
Yes.
David Villalobos,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes, 5-0. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank
I gave you one and me one. You were at the
Thank you.
beginning of the year, me in the middle of the year.
Appreciate you coming in tonight.
All right, boys, so I'll be calling you to, start the perf process. I'll get with you to schedule the date when you guys can, go and get your physical. It's about 2 hours long. Then take your psychological, which is about 4 hours long. So we'll try to do it in the same day to alleviate any work-related issues, but we'll get it ahead of time. I'd like to have that done in the next 2 weeks, so. Okay? You're more than welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
From the fire department.
Thank you, guys.
Look forward to working with you.
All righty, we'll now move on to police acceptance, retirement letters from, Lieutenant
Not signed.
Purcell.
Board, I received a letter on May 21st, 2021 from Lieutenant Robert Purcell. It says I will be retiring from the Cedar Lake Metropolitan Police Department as of July 1st, 2021. My last day will be on June 30th, 2021. He has been here for 36 years as a full-time police police officer. I can only hope that it's some way, he says, I can only hope that in some way I've helped the community and the department grow and be better. Thank you, Robert Purcell.
All right,
I need your approval to accept his retirement letter.
I have to ask for that.
This is,
Oh, I was asking for that, I'm sorry.
this is kind of privileged in a way, because I was part of the commission that hired him.
Yes. Last one. This is your last one, right?
Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You're dating yourself.
I'll tell you what, I'll make the motion.
All righty, sir.
There's a motion from Norm, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Jim, any questions? All right, we'll have the roll call vote, please.
Josh Gobert,
Yes.
Jim Olta,
Yes.
David Villalobos,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes? And we'll be able to get Mr. Purcell in here to give him his plaque, or?
He doesn't know about it, if you cannot say anything since we're
Oh,
live.
sorry, hope you're not watching.
I don't feel so bad though about my Sarah situation.
See you next time, Bob. I'm sure he's not watching YouTube.
I'm sure he is.
Well, then he has time to shine his shoes. All right, we need to accept the retirement letter from Darlene's son.
Yes, Board, I received a letter from Darlene's son. It says, I knew this day would come when I would have to type a letter of retirement. 35 years as of 5/12/2021 has been so rewarding. I will be retiring on Friday, June 11th, 2021. It was a pleasure to be a 911 dispatcher and help my community, and being able to advance to administrative assistant to the chief of police. I've had a lot of tears shed and a lot of laughter that came with the job. We were considered family. I leave here sad, but we'll have new memories to explore. God bless each of the officers that I have had the privilege to work with. Signing off, 10/42, Darlene's son.
All right, I need a motion to accept the registry.
Would be my honor.
That will be Mr. Stick's honor. Is there a second?
I'll second
Was that Josh or Dave?
And Josh.
A second from Josh. Any questions? Okay, we need a roll call vote for the approval of the retirement letter.
Josh Gobert,
Yes.
Jim Olta, David Villalobos,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes. Okay, well, I ask again, will we be able to get Darlene in here? To get
She'll be at the council meeting with Lieutenant Purcell.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, public finance,
Purchase orders for the police department, you can see, they are all, in there. Some notable things, we, sent 2 officers to, drone flight school. They completed the class, very expensive, but, they will, be taking their FAA certification, to be able to be certified as a flying. We paid the, membership, for the chaplain's yearly dues. As you know, the 2 chaplains that, are with the department, both police and fire, we take care of their dues every year for the, International Conference of Police Chaplains, which was where they also get their direct training from, for law enforcement and firefighters for chaplaincy. So, we pay for that every year, take care of that for them, to maintain their certifications, as well. So, we ordered 4 cases of rubber gloves. Just received those in, which is real nice. We got the plaque that was mentioned. We had the hotel stay for Officer Pennington, who just completed his second 2 weeks for accident reconstruction. He has his final 2 weeks of reconstruction school in June, and he'll be a certified reconstructionist. And then we have our department photo coming up on the 9th, which obviously you guys are all obviously welcome to be there, but if you can't, we can make arrangements to do what we did last time. But it's Wednesday, June 9th at 9 o'clock. We'll have a full department inspection, as well.
and that's at 9 or?
That's at 9 o'clock. The inspection will start at 8 o'clock. Try to do it earlier like that so that the midnight guys can go home, so.
Who were the 2 guys that got the drone flight training?
We sent Officer Solsky, who is already has a drone and is pretty good in it, and we also sent Officer Meyer. So we the fire department was, but they had a conflict in the scheduling, so they weren't unable to. But we were going to actually send 3, so the fire department would have one too. But they had a scheduling conflict at the last minute. He had to cancel it. So
We have some certified people. Our drone's out of service, it was attacked by a bird.
which it turns out he found out it's covered under insurance, right? It's got warranty. There's warranty for bird attacks.
Wow.
Drone right out. They did not like it. We were over the Little Calumet River with it, and, out of nowhere, boom, we had a bird attack.
And you didn't lose it?
We didn't lose it. It went down, but we've got some damage to it, but it's under warranty, so.
All right, fire department, finance,
As you can see, my, purchase orders are, Image Center wireless document scanner. We're getting rid of all of our old medical reports that we have to keep forever. We're gonna go scanner wise and then put them in the box. Scott Air Pack stuff, that's just regular, service stuff. Engine 1213, that number is probably gonna be a little higher. They had to pull the motor out of the truck to do some work to it. We had a rear main seal leaking on it, and we found a few other problems with it. We needed tires on the engine as well. The front tube, actually, was 4 did we put on or 2? Just 2.
This is the front too.
The front drive tube. We had it actually flat on a call. We must have hit something. And then, our when to work, our program that we schedule people on, is a $315 charge every year. That's it for that. We will have, in the coming month, quite a few more of repairs and some things that had to be done to equipment, so. We are, under finance, we have money in our equipment line item. We will be replacing one of our thermal imaging cameras. Just to kind of let you know, when we bought the first thermal imaging camera 20-some years ago, was $21,000. This camera that we're replacing was $4,000 or $6,000, Nick. No, 6. It was 6,000. So it's a big difference in price. That will be coming shortly. We have to replace that.
okay. Grant updates, anybody have any grants or?
We're working on them, but nothing that we can report yet.
I requested a grant, requested to be able to write the SAFER grant for the fire department for personnel. I sent the email to all of you and all the council. I did get some feedback from some of you. I did get a email back from, Mr. Everly, the town manager, who had some concerns budgetary-wise. And, it was just, legitimate concerns, because it does hit the budget. So, we have to be able to, they changed basically the rules, there's no match to it, but after, you know, the grant is up, you do have to absorb all the costs, so I asked for 4 people over that period of time. I think that, and was told that the sustainability plan does not sustain that, but at the same token, I was told that that plan is also a guideline, so that there might be, depending on finances in the future, to be able to do that, so we would need to discuss it with our consulting firm. So hopefully, Rick will be able to schedule a meeting with the consulting firm to be able to see if the council or the town will be able to absorb budget-wise those 4 people in the future. He did suggest to drop it down to 2, and 2 helps us, but 4 would be way better for us, obviously.
Maybe you could tell, I don't think they know about what the grant was.
The SAFER grant is same as the COPS grant, basically the same. You put in for personnel, it's a FEMA grant to where, at one time, there was a match of so much every year you had to pay out of your budget, and then they picked up the rest. Now they wipe that match out to where they pick up 100% of it for 3 years, and on the 4th year, excuse me, on the 4th year, the town's budget would have to absorb all 4 salaries. That's how it works. If we default on it, we have to pay it all back. So that's the concern that, you obviously have to make sure that you can do it prior to doing it. It's a very important, it's very important that the process be very, very vetted to make sure that the town would be able to afford it over a certain period of time. So that's what we're gonna do next, to see if, it's feasible. I'm just asking. I've never written one, I've never had permission to move forward with one because of the financial situation. But I thought with the growth the community has and the possibility of, you know, more income coming into the town in the future, that maybe we would be able to absorb it in 4 years. So if this will get, I'm sure, we'll get a lot of work done on it prior to any decision being made or any presentation made, so this is just the forward start of it.
With the growth of the town, how's your calls for services increase?
The calls are through the roof.
So the justification for these new hires is there.
Yes, sir, yes, they are. The justification is there. It's just that, you know, the town currently is in a you know, study with its consultants to see which direction the town financially can go in the future. So, with that, you know, all being said, that obviously we have to sit down with them and see if it's able to happen, or we're able to do it, so. I don't wanna, this grant is very detailed, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, I don't wanna put a lot of work into it if the answer is just straight up no, and I understand that.
Well, the grant has to be signed by the council president too.
Exactly.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
you also have to guarantee and sign off that you'll keep all 4 of them then after.
For a
Yeah.
minimum time, yeah.
Yeah, you
Can't lay them
can't,
off in 4
Yeah.
years.
no, you can't, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. If you lay them off in 4 years, you gotta pay it all back.
You said we would have to, you
Right.
said that,
Okay.
we would have to absorb, all those salaries. Okay, old business, flexible updates, police department, unfortunately, we all didn't get everything yet, so we will have to table those until the next meeting. Fire department,
The fire departments will be done, at the end of June, they'll all be done. We had our last May meeting today, and approved, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them. And, they'll be ready in the next, by July 1st, they will all be able to be in your hands for approval.
You've read some of them? You've gone over these?
I go over every single one of them.
Okay, and so in your opinion, are they, in good shape, or
Yeah.
do they need modifications?
Yes, they needed modifications, and the nice thing about our guy, you know, they took policies from other departments and plugged them into a template for us, to where Bill already had those policies and they had to modify them. For us, it was very easy because, or it's been easier because, a lot of it's all state law and all federal law that has to be followed as well. And any modification, he walks us through it. And the nice thing about it is common practice or best practice, is also put into that, as well as, the actual vetting of all those policies prior by many fire departments, throughout the country. And, so what we do is we modify it to meet the actual town of Cedar Lakes Fire Department's, you know, needs. Because, I mean, some of them are set up for big city fire departments, which doesn't, like it says we have to have so many safety officers on the scene, like 4 or 5 safety officers, but we don't have those types of people. You know, and basically what happens then is, those departments, you know, they implement them, but we don't have the staffing to do stuff like that.
But you're comfortable with the policies you have?
I am, I'm not comfortable with some of them, so what we're doing with the ones, we're putting them on the burner, going through them with some other staff members, and, making sure that, they fit into our department. So those policies, I mean, there's 180 new policies being written for the fire department right now, to include everything you can imagine, so by July 1st, they will all be in your hands for a July 2nd approval, so.
We don't meet until the 20th. We don't meet until the
There's no way you're gonna read 180
In one
of them
day.
in one day, no.
We don't meet until the 20th.
So I figured, I would think that it would take you guys probably a couple months to go through them all. I understand that, and we'll, do some question and answers.
We'll do our hardest, just that we get to it.
We'll bear with you, no problem at all.
All right, equipment updates, police department.
I had a conversation with the, Dodge dealership today, probably looking at the middle to end of July now for vehicles. The, 3 Durangos have VIN numbers. That just means that they're in the computer system, doesn't mean they're being built. The truck, has nothing yet, so the issue still is the, computer chip issue, from the fire that happened in Japan, I think it was, right? Japan. So, and COVID, so COVID shut production down, so, I talked to them today just to get a simple update, and they're believing, hopefully, build-out date, at least for the Durangos by the middle of July to the end of July.
And the truck is Todd's, correct?
No, the truck is for,
Todd?
yes,
Okay.
Todd's going for truck
Who's up?
next year. Police department.
Maybe you said truck, but, or the SUV.
No, I ordered a truck for my
Okay.
6'8" officer.
Got it. All right, anything on repairs?
Pardon?
Repairs?
None this, well, I've had a few in the last few months, but a few days, 52 had some repairs done to it, for an air conditioning unit that exploded, I'm sorry, for a radiator that exploded on 41. We had air conditioning unit go out on unit 54, that was 52. I think that's about it right now that I can think of, right? You have any other repairs?
Zips vehicle.
Vip's vehicle just was completed, front brakes, right? Front brakes, that's under his budget. That's it right now. Knock on wood, thank the Lord.
Purchase and repairs, okay. Is there anything else you were talking about? Cameras?
No, I don't have anything yet. Still working on it.
All right, fire department?
The new ambulance, I did send you guys pictures of it, it's pretty close to being done.
Nice.
It's a nice rig, economical, nice ambulance, it'll do us well. We're still looking at the first week of June to get it. In fact, we're scheduled to go out on the 8th to get it and bring it back. We will be driving out there to do the final inspection, but the dealer will be driving it back because it won't be insured until I can get what I need to get into Margot's hands. So that'll happen. We did have our ambulance, one of our ambulances go down over the weekend, it had a turbo problem. Come to find out it was a pipe that, broke on the inside and, was fixed fairly quickly. Kinda came at a bad time, we were very busy. Like I mentioned on engine 1213, that was fixed. We were finally setting up our ladder truck with the computer that it needs. So there's, out of the equipment cost line item, we're doing some stuff. We are going to have to buy a new light bar for our brush truck. And it's very, very old, and it's draining the system, so Cliff is working on getting us something that's not gonna get the thing to peter out when we're driving down the road because it loses power, so, you know, we're in the middle of doing that too. So just everyday maintaining stuff that's, getting older, and, the tanker is on schedule still. We're looking at February, maybe early March. I'm excited about getting that truck.
Okay, building renovation.
The building renovation, the, Henn & Sons was given a $40,000 check to order all the, from the clerk treasurer, to order all the, start ordering materials. And so we're locked into get it started, we're just not locked into a date. They're waiting for stuff to come in to find out when they can come. We're gonna have to do a lot of work at the fire station to prepare for them. We're gonna have to move a lot of stuff, possibly have to look at maybe a storage facility to put things temporarily, so that we don't get it damaged, because we don't have the room at the fire station to store stuff, so we might have to look at that. But other than that, I'm excited about that as well.
Okay, good. Police and fire training update.
In April, you can see, board members, we had active shooter response, where we had an instructor in that school. We had 2 or 3 classes for MDT recertification, which is a yearly recert. We obviously sent the 2 officers to the ground school and flight school for the drone and SWAT training at the Quad Town facilities with our 2 SWAT members.
Trying to open it. Everyday training, nothing that's been, as you can see, my list is pretty hefty. We've got 2 guys in dive training class right now. We are becoming ERD, emergency response divers. They're gonna be finishing up here this weekend. There will be a training on the lake, this weekend as well. We have trained most of our people in the operation of a police boat. Our current boat is down with a steering mechanism part that we're waiting on. So the police boat's the only boat on the lake that we can use right now as far as police and fire, which we are, Bill and I both are going to utilize. We've had a meeting with the DNR in reference to response on the lake and how we're gonna do it, and Bill can get into that because he was at the meeting. I wasn't able to attend Monday. And so yeah, we're continually training there. And the state of Indiana has passed the new law that all chief officers will be trained in the Fire Chief Academy at the state, similar to what they force law enforcement chiefs to do when they're brand new. What I'm gonna do is we're all gonna take it. So they're gonna possibly allow current chiefs to actually sit in on it as well. You know, it won't hurt none of us, and I'd like to, like my battalion chief, my deputy chief, and send them, it's really good knowledge on what the state's doing and what's new out there as well. So, once that's actually scheduled to start next year, and, I was asked to be on a committee to discuss the process in which how that program gets put together, so, that's kind of fun and it's an exciting thing, so. Other than that, that's it for training.
Okay. Anyone else have old business? Moving on, new business, police department monthly activity report.
As you can see, we had nearly 1,000 calls for service, or over 1,000 calls for service last month. Was extremely busy. A lot of them traffic related, but a lot of busy calls. We're at 3,600 calls just in the first 4 months of the year. 104 state citations were issued, 289 written warnings were issued. We had 13 total arrests, 32 charges filed, 12 misdemeanors, 5 felonies, and 15 warrants. So it was a pretty active month for the guys.
Last month you had 1,012 calls for service, right?
No, I think it was 1,089. It was still the same one, right?
From last month?
1,048. I'll have to
I mean,
double check that.
the
I'll have to double
previous
check
month.
it.
I
I'll have to
mean,
double
what I'm
check.
saying is this is going up, these calls
Oh,
for
yeah,
service.
yeah, definitely, sir. Let me double check here. You can go ahead.
You can see the fire department's, yearly totals and monthly totals as well. We had 137 calls this month, or last month, I should say. I want you to pay close attention to the overdose calls. Those are increasing as well. And the full arrests, unconscious, those are very high level type of calls when it comes to staffing is concerned, which requires more personnel on scene. The car crashes out in the township have increased, so the calls in the township as well has increased, obviously with the growth out there as well. So for the year, we're at 551 calls. That's not including, that is including the training, or not the training.
Mr. Villalobos, you're correct, 1,012 last month.
So it's going up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You already talked about the inspection.
Yes, sir.
Anything else in new business?
I could just reiterate what Chief Todd has said. So we had a meeting with the fire department, police department, and DNR, just going over emergency responses on the lake, what we're going to set up, knowing that this season's probably going to be pretty busy. I've given access to, how many guys in your department right now, Nick? 5 guys were trained on it? 6 on the boat? 6 on the boat. Chief Todd and I have discussed it, and we're pretty much going to try to mix the 2 boats and just have them police and fire, both of them. So our guys are trained on both the fire boat and the police boat, as well as his, especially because of their purposes. His boat is for search and rescue. It's got the sonar. Once it becomes a dive operation, because it's recovery, the sonar will work perfectly for helping them, but they can dive off of the platform that's on the front of our boat. So we're going to work in tandem together on that, and especially when he gets his boat fixed. I know the parts are back order or something. But the DNR is pretty excited about that as far as being able to help them. We've also added DNR's department phones to our system, so that when we have any lake rescues or water-related incidents, they will receive what's called a HIP link notification that Cedar Lake's got some kind of water incident. So that they're being notified, as well as us contacting them, but it will send it to them as soon as the incident's paged out, similar to the fire chief's IAR system. So we've established that, and just been working on some plans. Lieutenant D. Adams has been putting it all together, as he is the vice president of Mavis 205.
He is co-chairman of.
Co-chairman of
207 dive rescue team.
Yeah, so he's the co-chairman of Mavis 207, which is this area's dive rescue. And I can only reiterate, especially the calls that they've had. The biggest reason that Cedar Lake gets called for those calls is because we have a lake, and a lot of communities don't. They have these small little ponds that they don't have rescue equipment to do that stuff, but we do, because we have an 800-acre lake. So we have a lot of well-trained firefighters that do this dive stuff, and then our police officers are going to be able to be trained on it as well, to be able to take care of the scene itself, preserve evidence, whatever we need to do, security of the boats the divers that are in the water. But it's going pretty good. We're pretty excited about it, and moving forward, the pier should be done hopefully by next week, where the boats are out there ready to go. So.
And when's the fireboat going to be ready, ballpark? Any idea?
he was supposed to get the parts this week, so it's only all it is a steering linkage. One bar, one piece. It's coming from, it's a Honda motor, so it's from a Japan.
So that's it.
Nothing else on the police department?
No.
Fire department?
The fire department, we're gonna have some retirements of some volunteers coming up, and we're gonna have a retirement party for them. I will let you know who they are and when. I don't want to talk about it publicly, because we're gonna try to surprise them, with an event or with a party, so, to mention their names now. And, we'll invite everybody, all council people and commissioners, and, staff, and everybody worked with these guys 40 years. We'll, get excited.
Okay, anything else? That's all I have.
No, sir.
All right. Tips report, please.
Hello, everyone.
Tim?
In front of you, you got the April 2021 VIPS hours for the month, total
Yes,
of
sir.
90 hours for the four of us. We had one call out on April 16th. The agency assist with the structure fire on the 12700 block of Parish. Sergeant Yager assisted on that for 8+ hours, and then I relieved him after work for additional 2+ more hours. And we had our tag day this month on the 15th. We received $831 plus whatever the change is.
Great. Any questions, gentlemen?
Thank you for
No.
your help.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't know
Thank
how
you.
to Thank you every single month, because you guys always help us every month somehow.
Yep.
But it's nice when this is out there, because, your traffic's gonna be shut down, you're not gonna get run over by somebody.
Just need to find him some more people.
Day and age.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, anybody?
I do have one more thing I forgot. Our fundraiser mailer from our association went out. Just let you guys know for our annual raffle. You can see that.
So, have the boxes been deployed?
The boxes have been deployed
How's that
for
working?
they just did it. So, Larry's not here tomorrow. The association just put them out here in the last couple weeks, so we haven't picked any up yet to see how they're going. But I think they went out to 25 or 30 locations. I'm not sure.
Good.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, I call for public comment 3 times. Anyone wants to make public comment, please approach the podium, state your name and your address, please.
Father Senior John Kowalczyk, 10717 West 134th Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
Thank you.
I know I am preaching to the proverbial choir. However, our town is growing substantially. Every place you look, and you all know this, there's new subdivisions, 300 houses, 400 houses. You do the math, at 3 people per house, that's a lot of people. I just have a couple of questions. One, is there a minimum standard of staffing for the police department and the fire department per the state of Indiana, NFPA? Those kinds of things. If there is, what are we doing to make sure that we meet at least the minimum staffing of these 2 departments? The second comment that I have is I have had the privilege of serving as a chaplain for these 2 departments, 11 or 12 years. These are some of the finest men and women of any department, and I serve as chaplain for several other departments. But make no mistake, these are some of the finest men and women in this state. I'll put them up against anybody.
That's nice of you to say that.
Their dedication, their professionalism, their caring. Thank you.
I know there are some suggested amounts of numbers per employee per thousands of people. I don't know what quite those numbers are.
There's no minimum standard. There's a recommendation from the FBI, that's it.
As is there is for the fire service and National Fire Protection.
It would be
There's a comment. there.
fantastic if there was a minimum standard.
Well, but what I meant is,
It's a recommendation.
Yeah.
right. So,
Well, if there is a recommendation, since it's not a minimum, what are we doing to see that we come close to that recommendation?
I think we may be fairly close,
No.
like fire.
Fire, I don't know. I don't know what your recommendation, 1 for 1,000?
We would have to do a study. In fact, the International Firefighters Association will do a study for our community for free, so we should probably do that.
The recommendation from the, FBI, it's been some years, was one officer per 500, which would give us somewhere in the area of 40 officers. But that's just not feasible. I don't think anybody meets that standard anywhere, even in big cities, right?
Yeah.
So,
Places I represent.
yeah, I don't think anybody does. So, it's probably more closer to 1 per 1,000, so.
But Chief Wilkening, if you had that study, that would help support your SAFER grant, proposal, right? I mean,
We will have.
that would bolster that request, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we actually got on the list, for the IFF to do that, with the recent convention, that we had folks go to. In fact, Chris was one of them that went to the convention, the union convention, and, they put us on, they requested to be put on that list to do that study.
Okay.
So it could be a while before they do it, depending upon how many people are ahead of us, but it's free. They literally do a complete study for you, so.
Good information to have, too.
This came from, Cliff Rowe, our IT director, and it says, for the fire department, it's 1.87 to 1.32 per 1,000 on average, and for law enforcement, it's 3.5 per 1,000.
So
Not sure where you get that.
Guys per 1,000 for fire,
Yeah.
40
Yeah. But I don't think we come close to that.
No.
Probably more like 1 per 750, something like that.
Those are suggested numbers.
Right.
not actual.
Well, thank Cliff for that information. Thank you.
He's very quick.
Wherever
You
are.
can thank him, he's listening.
All right, any more public comment? Public comment twice? Please state your name and full address, please.
Douglas Scott Ferguson, 13330 Edison Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I have a few questions. First and foremost, bearing with my my letter. I haven't heard anything from anybody about it. Did anybody read it? Did anybody? What?
I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, did anybody read it? Did anybody, has there been anything in motion about it? And, yeah, that's my first question.
The letter you're referring to was?
Yes, the one that I dropped, and like you told me, you asked me to drop a sealed envelope in.
Right.
And I was quite perturbed because it was supposed to be like cloak and dagger, where I drop it in there in an envelope, and it got read in front of all these people.
So it's not read in front of all these
It
people.
was not read in front of all of them? Why, you said that you were reading it in the executive
They
meeting.
read it, they were all given a copy of it. to
Oh,
read.
okay, so what, you're saying you all read it silent, like, to yourselves?
Correct.
Okay, then, all right, so that takes up that misunderstanding. But I would like to know if there's any progress on it, or what is the, like, what is the timeline on something like that? Because I have also kind of, I made this complaint, especially the one that's being investigated. The complaint was made at the time of the event in March. And I got a letter right after the last meeting that said 14 days. It wasn't dated or anything. It said 14 days, you'll have to, And I haven't heard anything. I've been emailing everybody. I get no response. You know, I have questions for people. He's got me blocked, Chief Wilkening.
That's not true.
You need to address us, not the chief, this is,
I'm addressing you.
You have the
I'm
wrong
telling you
email
that.
address, I told you that once.
Is he supposed to address me? Because I'm not even addressing him. I was addressing you.
alright, thank you.
Now, and I also have a question about, Mr. Austin. What particularly is his role here? Is it to?
He's the attorney for the town and
Okay.
he advises us when we have questions regarding legal questions.
For everybody? Like for everybody in here, for all of you too? I'm just asking,
For this board also.
okay, yeah, okay, and why would the board need legal help, or legal advice?
Well, we
It's
have,
just,
other than you, we have problems that need legal interpretation.
like, okay, well, I'd just like to know when I'm gonna get any kind of answer about anything about that.
Well,
Because-
everything we're doing is under investigation right now.
And so I'm not, and one other thing is that I don't understand why I'm not privy to that information of all people, being as, or any kind of information, anything about it, being as like I'm the one that's like claiming being harmed, pretty much, like many times, several times. Like, I don't know, I seem, and you know, like, my complaint is against him, is against an officer as a citizen. He perjured himself as a citizen in his driveway, by himself, like, not in uniform, not on duty. So, I'm not making it, I mean, I know it's an internal investigation that must be done, per se, but like, you know, still, he lives down the street from, he lives down the street from me all the same, and, you know, I got my kids that walk by there, I don't see his kids, ever, I didn't even know he had them. I had no idea he had kids, so, I have 8, if you were wondering.
Do you have anything else?
I'm just wondering, I want to know what a timeline is where I can know something, anything about this. 'Cause all this big deal was made about me dropping off this note, and I dropped it off, and I just keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And I don't, like, and then they say, and then, that's fine, Chief Fisher tells me that the lawyer says we're not allowed to do anything, that's fine, if that's what you're notified, but I asked for the lawyer to call me and explain it to me. Somebody's gotta tell me something, like, I don't know, like, we're crime victims, like, that's what this board is about too. It's not just about patting people on the back when they, you know, got a new fire truck. So, thank you.
May we forward. Alright, we'll call for a comment a second time, public comment 3 times. Being no more public comments, this meeting, we have to have a roll call to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion first.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
From Dave, is there a second?
Somebody.
Jim, roll call vote please.
Josh Govert,
Yes.
Jim Olthoff,
Yes.
David Villalobos,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Charlie Caper.
Yes. Motion carries, meeting adjourned at